pop quiz! What's the one thing the Wii U did better than the Switch? It's common knowledge at this point that the Wii U is one of the more disappointing consoles that Nintendo has put out. It's been outsold by practically every Nintendo console to come before it. As a successor to the Wii, it was extremely lacking, and considering how easily the Switch surpassed it in sales, it's since become an example of what not to do for video game consoles. Not like it was that hard to outsell the Wii U anyways. But surely there must be something it did right, I thought. Even some of the worst pieces of media have something good about them. The room is hilarious.
You are lying, I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
The soundtrack for Sonic 06 is awesome. "13 Reasons Why." It makes a good drinking game? Yes! Oh, not the drinking game part. There is something that the Wii U did better than the Switch, the Wii, the GameCube, and every other console ever made. And what is that, you might ask as you drown in your own suspense? Well, the one thing the Wii U did better than any other console is its controller. No, wait, don't leave! I'm not talking about that controller, I'm talking about this one. But Pete Moss, that's just the controller for the Wii.
Exactly.
And you can use it on the Wii U. Real talk here. How many other consoles let you use your controllers from previous console generations? I'll tell you right now, you can probably count how many on one hand. But the Wii also let you use the GameCube controller. Even the Wii U didn't let you do that for any game outside of Smash Brothers despite making an adapter for it. Seriously, Nintendo, what the fuck? You're right, but not all Wii games were compatible with the GameCube controller, and many of its more notable titles required the use of the Wiimote because of the motion controls. You know how many Wii U games were compatible with the Wiimote? Far more than the Wii had with the GameCube controller. But why is that a good thing? To answer that, let's look at the X-Bone.
None of that! Shame on you!
The Xbox One controller is barely all that different from its predecessor's controller. In fact, the layout is practically identical. The PS4 at least had an excuse with that weird touchpad thingy, although I don't think it's used all that often anymore, so that's not really saying a whole lot. But the Xbox controller has no excuse. Nothing major has changed, it's just the shape that's changed. It doesn't even have a weird dongle to limit its compatibility like the first Xbox controller had. So why is it I need to go out of my way to buy another $60 controller instead of just using the perfectly good 360 controller I already have? What exactly is so different about these two controllers that it would have been impossible to provide any backwards compatibility support for the Xbox One? And I'm not just talking about their games. And the same applies to the Switch. The Joy-Cons are understandable, although it still doesn't help that these are some of the most expensive controllers I've ever seen. But it's really the Pro controller that irks me. Just like the Xbox One controller, it's functionally identical to the previous controller on a surface level. But they are different, Pete.
Insert long-winded rebuttal.
Okay, let's say that I believe that there's some significant difference between these two controllers. How much do you think that difference is worth? $10? $20? $60? No one in their right mind would willingly buy another $60 piece of plastic they have to be told is different from the piece of plastic they already own and works perfectly fine for them. And I seriously doubt that the difference between the Switch's Pro controller and the Wii U's is that much greater than the difference between the 360 controller and the Xbox One's controller. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter because of one undeniable fact. I spent much less on controllers for the Wii U than I did for the Switch, and I'm sure many of you can probably say the same. Nobody wants to buy another controller that's practically identical to one they already have. I think it's worth pointing out because this isn't just a problem for Nintendo, which is why I brought up the PS4 and especially the Xbone. Granted, with the rise of online multiplayer, this isn't as much of a problem since the need to play locally, and by extension the need to buy more controllers, has decreased. But many of Nintendo's games are best played locally. If not because the connection for Nintendo Online still isn't that great, then just because these games create an atmosphere that you need to be in to truly enjoy.
That ain't Falco! That ain't Falco! Oh! Where you at? Where you at? Oh! Oh my God! Oh! Get your ass whooped!
There are some fixes for these things, however. Like how there's a third-party adapter for the Switch that allows you to use the Wii U Pro controller. And I've also heard that it's compatible with any wireless controller from this generation. But I can only hope, with words and wishes that will likely fall upon deaf ears, that we will one day be able to play video games with our headsets. Hey there! Thanks for sitting through my rant. If you liked the video, please hit the like button so the YouTube overlords know that you think I'm okay. Do you hate the sound of my voice? I know I do. Why don't you subscribe so that you can hear more of it? Want to help support my channel so I can put out more content like this? Then share this video with your friends. That's right, it costs you nothing. And comment below if you have any idea for a future video, or want to tell me how I could have improved this one. I hope you have an excellent day, and stay platinum.